What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic. Now, initially I wasn't going to cover this story, but since Patti is getting fried all over the internet, let's go ahead and talk about it, right? Because your opinions matter, my opinions matter, and I just want to get, a different perspective from everybody out there on how they feel about this particular topic. So Luther Vandross's documentary aired on CNN on New Year's Day, and it's called Never Too Much. Now, reportedly behind the scenes, Patti LaBelle and her team are furious but hurt at the same time because, quite honestly, the documentary did not paint her in the best of light due to the fact that she did an interview back in 2017 on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and she talked about Luther Vandross being gay.
Did he struggle with the idea of coming out publicly? Was that something that you talked about at all?
We talked about it. It was basically he did not want his mother to be, although she might have known, but he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans, and he told me that he just didn't want to upset the world.
Now, I do want to let you guys know that the way they set it up in the documentary was just rough, rugged, and raw. Because you had Luther Vandross's songwriting partner by the name of Richard Marx that said one of the things that really pissed him off is that there were people who have talked about his personal life, people who he considered friends, and then they went to the clip that you just saw. Now, in the midst of them working on Luther's documentary, Patti invited the producers into her home for an hour-long conversation talking about stories involving Luther, right? But the funny thing about that dynamic is the fact that they ended up editing out her interview because she refused to sign release forms when the producers denied her request to see the final cut. Now, me personally, I do find that interesting that the producers would not let her see the final cut from the interview that she did in her own home. But anyway, a lot of people on social media feel like Patti should have just declined to answer the question, and I'm thinking to myself, if you decline to answer the question, you're really telling on Luther anyway, so it's a no-win situation, right? But I guess a lot of people feel that if Patti declined to answer that question, it's a whole lot better than sitting on that stage with Andy Cohen and admitting that your close friend was gay, right? Because at the end of the day, people can speculate what the hell they want. You didn't get up there and sit down and tell your friend's business, right? You should have took that secret to your grave. Then on the flip side, you have individuals that are asking the question like, what's the big deal of Patti saying that about Luther? Because it was pretty obvious that Luther played for the same team, and so you have that dynamic there as well. Now, although I'm not here to crucify Patti, I will say that I'm that friend that you can confide in and tell your personal business to, and you don't even have to tell me not to tell it because I'm wired that way anyway. I'm not going to go and tell your business to anybody. I don't care if it's friends within the circle. You came to me and told me that business. Listen, that's our business, right? That's between me and you. Now, if you want to go tell the friends in the circle the same thing you told me, that's on you, but they will never know your business. But anyway, what I want to do right here is play you guys a few clips of people reacting to this, and then I'll be back.
They mad at Patti LaBelle. So, Luther Vandross documentary just premiered on CNN. It's called Never Too Much, and it's going over his life. People say it's beautiful. I have not seen it. But a clip of Patti LaBelle on Watch What Happens Live is resurfacing, y'all. And in the clip, Andy Cohen asked Patti, was Luther Vandross okay with his sexuality coming out? And Patti proceeds to do like any black grandmother would do and tell all your business. Confirming that yes, he was gay and he did struggle with it, and he wanted to he didn't want his mother to be disappointed. So people are mad at Patti because they feel like her being one of his best friends, why would she say that? Now, maybe because I understand I have a Patti LaBelle-ish type grandmother and family members. Yeah, they gonna tell all your business. And for me, growing up on Luther Vandross, we knew, I was told young that, Luther Vandross is gay, and I was shocked. And then I started actually paying attention to him. I was like, oh no, I'm not shocked at all. But do you think Patti LaBelle was wrong for getting up there and having a conversation about that man after he passed and pretty much confirming that yes, he was homosexual?
Okay, sorry for the hoarseness. Been outside playing golf all day. So I watched the Luther Vandross documentary, and it was very nostalgic because it reminded me of how my mom used to play music around the house growing up. But what I really want to talk about is Miss Patti LaBelle. Now, Miss Patti, at your big age, we know when friends tell you stuff, some things you just take to the grave with you. Like, if Luther didn't tell us his business, you shouldn't have told his business. I'm just saying. I mean, why? We the people want to know why. We just want to know why. Oh, one more thing. Why was the media so fixated on his weight? Okay, when he lost weight, y'all said he had that stuff or was doing some stuff. And then when he gained it because he was depressed. Listen. Moral of the story is, get in 2025, we're not messing with Patti LaBelle's or people that tell your business. Nothing like that. All right, bye. That's it.
In the spirit of transparency, I've not yet seen the Luther documentary, and I want to see it. I've heard commentary on it. In fact, I saw Kenyon Farrell's video where he brought up a really good point, something that I talked about just a few weeks ago, when Nikki Giovanni died. But considering it considers who tells our stories, right? And if they're invested enough in our essence and invested enough in our experience as Black people, and specifically as Black people who are on the triangle, the rainbow spectrum, if they are invested enough to know what is actually disparaging to divulge and what is damaging to withhold. The commentary that I've seen about Patti LaBelle has been disheartening and discouraging. People are still upset with Patti for sharing her experience with one of her best friends after he died. What's even crazier is that we think that sharing in a person's death, that they were same gender loving because that's how you experience them as a best friend or one of the best friends, is disparaging, speaks more to how we see gay than Patti LaBelle's loyalty to Luther Vandross. While my life for many years had been very, very private, some would even have said I was DL at some point, I have to accept that that was the way I chose to live my life. That my son and that my son's mother, they have a truth too that also includes my experience. And to expect that after I am dead, they are not able to tell their truths for fear that it will disparage my name is selfish and diabolical. I say this without gloating and very humbly. I had the pleasure of knowing Luther personally, and what I can say on this platform is there was nothing that he was ashamed of about who or how he was. He was adamantly against people prying into his business for the purpose of exploiting him, and he was very boundary driven. I knew my place in Luther's life. But to now suggest in a documentary that Luther is somewhere in heaven or the afterlife with his arms folded, mad at Patti LaBelle because she shared that he was gay, or that in her experience that he was open about his sexuality with her, is so dumb to me. It just is, it's a part of the Black community driven by other people, oftentimes sweeping under the rug that could really heal masses of us if we just shared. Patti LaBelle had every right to say whatever she wanted to say about her best friend. And if y'all didn't like it, you have every right not to like it. But what you can't do, you can, but it ain't gonna work, is disparage her because she told the truth that you disagree with. It's still a truth.
All right, so you guys just seen and heard all of that, and now I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think Patti was right for for talking about her friend and exposing his secret, although we kind of already knew? Or do you think she was wrong and out of bounds and that was something that she should have took to her grave? All right, drop down in the comments and let a brother know. Now, with that said, don't forget to like this video, also share this video, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.